I could call the regular meeting of the, finally, the regular meeting of the Cumberland Fire District to order. Let's begin with a roll call. Commissioner Hayden?
Present.
Commissioner Hogan?
Here.
All the H's together. I'm here. Commissioner Kuziani?
Present.
Commissioner Picone?
Here.
Commissioner Jones?
Here.
Commissioner Santoro?
Here.
If we could please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. For this moment of silence, I would like to request that we think about the Worcester Six who perished in the fire. This is their anniversary. And also keep in our thoughts President Bush and his family as they go through this difficult time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm assuming we have to speak loudly today? No? We're good? Okay. All right. General announcements. Does anyone have any general announcements?
No, under the chiefs.
Okay. All right, let's move to the approval of minutes from 10/23/18. Is there a motion on the table to accept the minutes?
Motion to approve. That would only include members who were on the board at that time.
Correct. And there are 4 of us here.
Yes.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Actually, 5 of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. So motion was made by Commissioner Santoro, seconded by Commissioner Picone. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's go to the vote. All in favor of approving the minutes from 10/23, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
And I will abstain.
Thank you. Yes, you and Commissioner Hayden will be abstaining. Okay. Any communications? Okay. Chief? Just move it right along here. Old business?
New business.
That's coming up.
As I wrote, welcome to the new board members. I look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. The report for October has 422 response calls for the month. The chairwoman and I have met with the town representatives about moving and upgrading the fire alarm box receiving console. We both appeared at the November 7th council meeting, for which we got approval for the building committee and from the town council to authorize the building committee to authorize the purchase. Since that time, the wording on the resolution was a little incorrect for what the building committee was looking for, so I will be at the council meeting tomorrow night to reaffirm just what should have been on the resolution. It wasn't an inappropriate resolution, it just had the words authorized to pay, where it should have just had the words authorize the building committee to sign the agreement, not the mayor. So it's a small technicality. I believe from the communications I've had, I still have support for it, so it shouldn't be an issue. The resolutions tonight, before you get too confused, one is for truck 1, which is the 2000 KME, which needed some extensive electrical front-end repairs. Springs were broke. And then ladder one had electrical issues. Some of the components I brought with me tonight to show just what we were up against on that one. That has been rewired. Both of those now are back in service and in play. For those that haven't heard, last Friday night, ladder one was struck by a drunk driver while it was parked at an EMS call on Mendon Road. Luckily, I believe the vehicle that struck the ladder does have insurance. We made communication with that company today. They were looking into all of the aspects of the accident, and they assured us that we would hear from them tomorrow. In the meantime, I've reached out to a couple of agencies that do work on fire trucks to get an estimate. I'm not even sure what a front bumper on a ladder truck is worth. All I know is it held up really, really well compared to the mechanism of injury that was caused by the car striking it. So hopefully our insurance company has been notified right up front so that if they falter, we can go through VFIS and subrogate. If there's any questions?
I have a few. Anybody else want to go first?
I have questions. It has to do with a fire this month, not during October, but November. I don't know if you want to cover that or wait a month.
The Broad Street?
Broad Street?
Yeah.
Across from B.F. Norton School.
Yep.
So I guess from what I heard, it was a good save.
It was a very good save. Luckily, the area of origin was on an addition to the original building, so it was compartmentized, and by that I mean it had fire stops in the wall. Unfortunately, they had poor housekeeping, so it appears that it was a discarded cigarette that landed on leaves on the outdoor sink in the back and got in through the outdoor faucet pipe chase and went up the wall. Luckily, there were people home, and she went to the basement to do some laundry, smelled the smoke, and immediately called. There were quite a few other issues that I don't care to, reveal in public that transpired with the building. Eventually, we had to close it down. The building official has taken the case over after the state fire marshal finished up. But that will be one that we will be following up on. The area of it, as I say, was a compartmentized building with fire stops. The original building in the front was balloon frame. Had that happened towards the front of the house, the balloon frame went from the sill plate, those members went all the way to the attic, so it would have been like a straight chimney. We would have had a much greater destruction to the property than what was incurred. So it will be rebuildable.
Was that a one alarm, 3 engines on a ladder?
It was one alarm for us, and then we had mutual aid that covered our station while we were tied up there. And, as life would have it, the first hydrant we hit this time of year froze solid. It was one of those cold nights, couldn't get it open, so that was an immediate call to Pawtucket Water Supply, and they had that taken care of before Thanksgiving.
Were you able to backfill the stations, some mutual aid?
Mutual aid backfill the stations, yeah. We had North Attleboro at Station 5, Central Falls at Station 1. We had a one-socket ladder. They happened to be manned, 2 men on their ladder that day. The on-duty deputy, knowing the area that we were in, sent an engine with the ladder, so it would be a 5-man company responding, and then they sent the second engine to Station 4 for coverage. So it was 2 one-socket engines and 1 one-socket ladder, and Central Falls engine and a North Attleboro engine.
Very good, thank you.
If I could take this opportunity just to throw in a little public service announcement. When I heard the cause of the fire was a cigarette, a careless disposal of cigarettes. That's one of the things that people really need to be careful about. is careless disposal of cigarette. We want people to smoke outside because we don't want any of the contaminants from cigarette smoke in our homes, in our restaurants. But, when you throw a lit cigarette into leaves, and there are a lot of them around right now, mulch, whatever, they can burn undetected for a long time. And, you see the fires rising up the sides of houses. And if people are sleeping, the fire's beginning outside, and perhaps by the time it really gets to the point where smoke alarms are going off, it may be too late for those people. And, in Massachusetts, we've seen a lot of cigarette smoking fire deaths. But the other public service announcement is, and this is an opportunity now because of the date of our meeting, is we're coming up on the holidays, and we see an increase in fires from a number of sources, whether it's candles, whether it's cooking, whether it's heating, during the holidays. So I urge people of Cumberland to remember to stay in the kitchen when cooking, to stand by your pans, to never leave a candle unattended, and always keep a 3-foot circle of safety around anything that heats. So that's my public service announcement.
If I could just throw on to properly size the extension cords for
Thank you.
outdoor lighting, indoor lighting, not have the cords under a carpet where you can't watch for fatigue and shorts. Those are all things that transpire. Unfortunately, in this neighborhood on Broad Street, this is the second discarded cigarette fire. If you remember, back in August, we had a cigarette in a mulch that burnt the outside of a building down in that same neighborhood. So the message is very timely.
Very good. Well, perhaps, on a slow day, members of the fire company in that area can just circle, go through the neighborhood, just dropping leaflets off, reminding people about careless disposal and carelessly discarding lit cigarettes. Thank you. Commissioner Santora?
Chief, I have a few questions. How are we doing with recruiting for the new firefighters?
We've partnered with the town of Smithfield. They've accepted their SAFER grant, we accepted our SAFER grant. It just made more sense to have their HR department do the boatload of the work for us. Why we don't just have one exam for the entire state is still beyond me, but we're trying to show the other chiefs in the state that this can work, so we're being like the test case. So the advertisement for applications should be going out this week. When they return the applications, they will be told the exact test date. We've agreed on the testing company, and it escapes me at the minute, but it's a renowned testing company used by a lot of municipalities in Rhode Island. So the benefit for us is that we don't have to do the advertising, we don't have to deal with the applications. We are on track to have 3 members in the February Fire Academy, and this process is scheduled to line up so that our opportunity to get in that Fire Academy will be accomplished.
So we are on timeline.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have an update on the website? I asked you about it being made secure.
I do not. I had I had a couple of deputies out last week, so my days were filled up pretty dramatically. One was on vacation, one was ill, so it's on my list of getting in and finding out just what we need to do to secure that site. And if it's going to stop visitors from visiting the site, then we'll have to make just an area that's secured but still have the page available for viewing.
Russ. I think that the chairwoman said we have 2 members in IOD? 2 firefighters
2, yes.
coming back soon?
One's applied for disability pension. He's in the process of having the independent medical exams. The second one is going through therapy, and we're undecided at this, well, his doctor's undecided if the therapy will fix him or if he'll need surgery.
Okay. Last question. During the flu shot day, we met, we discussed, I was going to donate money for a plaque ladder one. Where do we stand with that plaque for the deceased firefighter being placed on ladder one?
We spoke, the 3 deputies and the captain and myself spoke, and we've decided that it's not going to be a plaque on the ladder itself. What they've done is they've taken the kitchen table, they've refurbished it, sanded it down, had it completely refurbished, and did a dedication in the table, a burned-in dedication to the deceased firefighter that will stay in the house. Because it was an off-duty expiration, we didn't see the correlation. It's not like he was working on the truck and had a significant event. And it might sound cruel, it might sound cold-hearted, but we have to make a determination. If we start, it will lessen the impact if we stop for every person that deceases on or off the job, if we treat them the same. So there's some priorities that have to be held for an on-the-job entry, and that's the decision we made.
Okay, if I may, I respectfully disagree, and I'm going to place on the agenda for next month, with the chairwoman's approval, that the board decide whether we place a plaque on that truck at the discretion of this board.
It's your priority.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay, thank you. Our financial information.
Hi, sorry, I stepped in a little bit late.
That's quite all right.
I did send the latest finance reports out, had at least a couple of weeks to review. Does anybody have any questions?
You answered mine as usual, as always, on the Saturday. Above and beyond as always.
Yes, Bill?
Ms. Chairperson, if I could ask a question?
Commissioner?
Thank you. I know the salaries are paid to a payroll service, that's
Correct.
fine. Are they paid out of the Navigant GF operating account?
They are.
Okay. So should we have a line item in there indicating what was paid under that itemization you have for the various checks? If it's there, I didn't see it, I apologize.
All of the checks are paid out of that operating account. If they're not, it's indicated. If you're looking at the commissioner's report,
Yes.
some of it, if you see FNB, HRA checking, that's Freedom National Bank.
Yep.
I believe I just saw Freedom National Bank Fire Prevention on page 2 of the Commissioner's report. So there, it's indicated for every line item where that expense is being paid from, which account it's coming from.
And I understand that.
Oh, okay.
I understand that,
Sure.
but my question to you was, you've indicated that the payroll services are, the salaries are paid to a payroll service, and it's coming out of the Navigant operating account.
Right.
So should there not be a listing there with a check number of, the amount that was being paid to the payroll service? It's just a gross amount. It's not an itemization of any one individual salaries.
If you look at, in the income and expense report,
I know it's there.
well, there is no check. It's all it's electronic. It's an electronic transfer of funds. So it's not a physical check that we write.
Okay. That answers
Is
my
that,
question.
okay, I'm sorry, I was a little confused about that. Okay.
That answers my question. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just that $500,000, it's odd how the answer they sent me, how they can't, you said it was confusing, it's still confusing.
It's confusing for me to,
Yeah, it's like, they said it's confusing, we're confused, it went from 400.
they will, when they present the audit
At the end
report,
of the year,
maybe you can they can elaborate on that
Okay.
and try and explain it a little bit.
I'm sure it's accountable, it's just
Right.
somewhere, maybe Vinny can put his finance brain to work and get in there somehow and figure it out. For the simple mind like myself, I just show a number and... Okay, thank you very much. Excellent as always, Diane. I mean, 3 weeks early, Saturday response, it's fantastic. And transparency, I mean, you can't ask for more.
We try.
People go online, look for a check number to see where, I mean, you can't ask for the town taxpayer to just log on and see. There's been, Janitech's got $12 for, cleaning fuel, cleaning. You can't complain about that. Nobody can complain about the job that Diane does.
I'm just curious about the audit report. When do you think we might see it?
Well, they have to have it completed by the end of December.
Okay.
What has been holding us up is the OPEB calculations, the retiree health care. They suggested that we purchase some software that will, and it's an expense every year. And we have to plug in a lot of information into this report, and then it will do these calculations, which I guess they said are a little bit more acceptable than our own spreadsheet calculations. The Auditor General's office strongly suggested that we go along with that. And that has, involved with that was obtaining a lot of information, historical information. Beth has actually been researching this for a couple of weeks. She is pretty much finished today, has sent it along to the auditors with some more questions and some more help. So they are actually waiting for that. That's what they were waiting for. So they have promised me it will be finished in time, on time.
Well, you've been, it seems like they've been very on task anyways.
They have been,
as compared to our previous auditors.
We're very pleased with them so far. Yeah, our communications and, they spent a little bit of time in the station and so far.
Okay,
Great.
good. All right, well, I look forward to seeing that report. Any further questions for Diane? Is there a motion on the table to accept the chief's and finance report?
Oh, we didn't accept the cheat sheet, did we?
No, we did not. That's why I'm asking if there's a motion on the table to accept both of them. Can I do that?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Motion to accept both reports.
Motion to accept by Commissioner Santoro. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor of accepting both reports, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Congratulations. It's our first resolution passed. All right. Acceptance passed. Great. Okay, moving on to Resolution 2018-29, authorizing the business manager to pay Ralco Equipment Company an amount not to exceed $9,347.16 for repairs that have been made with the approval of the chief to Truck 1. Is there a motion on the table?
Motion to accept?
Motion to accept by Commissioner Santoro. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hayden. Any discussion? All in favor of accepting the resolution 2018-29, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0. Resolution number 30, authorizing the business manager to pay Ralco Equipment Company an amount not to exceed $4,939.07 made for repairs made to Ladder 1.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Santoro to accept resolution number 30. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kutsiani. Any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner
Yeah,
Hogan.
Chief, just a quick question. This is our new ladder truck. What was the issues? Was it just wiring issues?
The issue is they use these proximity switches. The issue is they use these proximity switches on the doors to send an alert tone to the driver and the officer that there's a door open. Well, I can pass this around. What happens is the road grit gets up in there, it shorts it out, so the doors are closed, and
And
these
so when the alarm's going off.
yeah, the alarms come on, and I can show you what a new one looks like, if you want to see what the new one is supposed to look like. So, Ted took and revised the whole operation, and in the process of it, the lighting that was inside the compartments was just put on with Velcro from the factory. And, you know, just 2 pieces of Velcro holding the LED lights up just didn't, over time, it just, from vibration, bouncing, came apart. So those wires came down, the light came down and crushed the wires between the bottom of the compartment, and there was no grommet at the drill hole, so they shorted out, and we actually had a small electrical fire in there. So to take care of all of that properly once, we just wanted it done properly once, because we're going to have this vehicle for a while, so. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor of accepting resolution to pay Ralco Equipment Company $4,939.07 to repair ladder 1, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 7-0.
I have also publicly recognize that Rocco gave us a discount again on the labor for both trucks. Which is a nice thing to do for us.
Thank you. All right, Resolution 31, the reappointment of Kelly Morris as General Counsel or Solicitor. Whereas Kelly Morris has been the General Counsel Solicitor, this is, there is no number attached to this.
Number,
31.
31, thank you. Sorry, I was reading.
oh, that was the one you're looking at is the one I revised
Right.
today. So,
Yes.
yeah, Kerry adds the number, sorry.
Yep, no, not a problem. Whereas the Cumberland Fire Committee is satisfied with the services provided to date, and the Cumberland Fire Committee is in need of legal services for this term of office, be it resolved that Cumberland Fire Committee will hereby appoint as General Counsel Solicitor for the Cumberland Fire Committee for this term ending November 2020 at a rate of $125 per hour. This resolution shall become effective immediately. Is there a motion on the table?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Kutsiani.
I wonder if I could make a motion to amend Resolution 2018-31.
You may.
Point of, I think we need a motion and a second, then we can amend.
Okay, you are correct.
I make
Is there
a
a motion?
motion to accept.
Motion to accept item number 31, resolution number 31 by Commissioner Santoro. Is there a second?
Second for discussion purposes.
Seconded by Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Kutsiani.
Madam Chairperson, if I may make a motion to amend Resolution 2018-31 so that everything remains the same except in the resolved paragraph, it reads that Kelly Morris is hereby appointed as General Counsel/Solicitor for the Cumberland Fire Committee until her reappointment or replacement, which shall be no later than January 30, 2019, at a rate of $125 per hour. This resolution shall become effective immediately. That's my motion to amend.
Any discussion?
Can I read that? Wait a minute, it's kind of,
Is there a motion on the table to accept the amended?
That was a motion.
That was the motion.
You need a second.
Do I have a second?
second for discussion purposes.
Seconded by Commissioner Santoro.
All right, can you just can you explain what this means, Kelly, in English?
So my understanding is that at least one commissioner had a couple of concerns that we'd like to deal with prior to the next meeting. And so it's not tabling because the original, the resolution for this term is only for this term. I'm sorry, for the past term was only for the past term. So in order for you to have legal counsel, you need to adopt this resolution just until January 30th And then on January 30th, either I will continue representing you, or you will have found someone else at that point. So this is just to give you time to alleviate some concerns that a couple of commissioners may have, and for me to report back to you, or for you to get new counsel.
So the concerns were conflict of interest, pretty much?
Well, I really don't want to discuss them, because there's absolutely nothing,
Nothing we're worried about?
you know, there's,
It's not on the agenda.
well, no, it's not that it's not on the agenda, it's just, we need to do a couple of things to make a couple of commissioners.
All right, well, I'd like to speak freely. I mean, you and I had a heart-to-heart. And we're in discussion mode, if I can speak, Madam Chair.
Sure.
I mean, Ms. Morris and I, as you've all known, have had our battles over the years. People know that we don't spend weekends, you know, or coffee together, and we don't go ice skating at Foxborough on weekends. But we had a good hour-and-a-half discussion, and we discussed all of my concerns I had, and she answered the questions to me very openly, very honestly, and all my concerns I had about everything, and honestly and openly, and everything that I was worried about had been aligned. All my fears and worries and everything I was concerned about, Kelly was very open with me, and I can say with all honesty that my mind is now changed, and I fully support Kelly Morris being reappointed at this point. If you would have asked me this question a couple months ago, I was probably, you know, on the fence and would have probably said, maybe not. But now I know that I can call her before a meeting, 2 weeks. Something doesn't look right, and she told me, and she gave me her word, and I take it. And I say, Kelly, what's up? It doesn't look right. And she'll tell me what she thinks. And I take her word for it. And going forward, we in agreement, we're going to have honest conversations. If I don't like the answer, it's too bad. and that's the way it is, you know?
Sorry.
It's life. The law is the law. So, you know, I think that the times of arguing at the table, on the TV, on the recording, are over. The times of yelling and, you know, having arguments before the committee are behind us. The agenda comes out. Kelly says, call me. I call her. We talk. She explains it. And I either accept it or I don't. And if I don't agree, I don't agree. But she's the attorney. I'm not. I didn't go to law school. I went to med school. But now I have an understanding, a lot better understanding of where she comes from. And so now I am throwing my support behind reappointing Ms. Morris.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Santoro.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Kutsiani.
I made this motion because there are other concerns that are in the process of being looked at and need time to reserve. It's for this reason that I made the suggestion in talking with Ms. Morris that we continue this in the language that appears in the motion to amend, to give us time to look at those other issues, to see if they do or do not develop, and at the same time retain legal counsel. And it's for that reason that I've agreed to make this motion to amend.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of accepting the resolution as
Was
amended?
my motion to amend seconded?
Yes.
All those in favor of accepting?
I think,
Yeah.
you might, was it seconded?
It was seconded.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to amend passes 7-0. Is there a motion on the table to accept the amended resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hogan,
Second?
second by Commissioner Santoro. All in favor of accepting, I'm sorry, is there a discussion? All in favor of accepting the amended resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Amended resolution passes 7-0. Is there any public input? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Santoro. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pacone. All in favor of adjourning at this time, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn. Meeting is adjourned, 7-0.